Okay, good afternoon everybody. I'm back here once again, and now it's time to resume my Martin Talkz series. As today is episode 21 of Martin Talkz. This is most often going to be my last video for 2010 as well. Now, I originally had meant to do this a couple videos ago, but I kept putting this off because of what happened with Nick William 89. With Nick, with him closing his Nick William 89 account and now later coming back yesterday evening as NWB 1989, since you remember that. And I figured that for today's film I'm going to review, in honor of Nick's return, I think it might be a good idea to review one of Nick's favorite Disney animated movies that he loves, and he loves this movie, I know. It's probably not one of the best Disney animated movies ever made, but it's still good. But I think it's still great. So Nick, if you're watching this episode, this is for you. The film I'm going to review today is none other than The Black Cauldron. Now, this is the only release of The Black Cauldron I have, which is the 1998 Masterpiece Collection VHS. As you see, we have the spine and the back, and it says, "A rip-roaring tale of sword, sorcery, and magic as stated by Roger Ebert of the Chicago Sun-Times." I know there was also now I got this tape back in August of 2010 at the Used Book Superstore in Salem, New Hampshire. I know there's also was a 2000 Gold Classic Collection VHS release, which I don't have as of yet, but I know Nick does have that tape, and there was also a DVD counterpart, which that's out of print, but I know both Aubrey and 62187 and Home of the Good Guys have that DVD, and there's also, and I don't have the 25th anniversary edition DVD as of yet, but I hope to get that soon, but anyways, I'll show you the tape now. See, yep, here's the tape with the ink label, needs to get rewound. And the print date was May 29th, 1998. Which was 10 days after my birthday, and this was printed on the Flickr 98's birthday as well, so, yeah. Yeah, but anyways, and for previews on this tape, it does have a preview for the Masterpiece Collection release of Lady and the Tramp, but that's all I know about for previews, but I know who the cast members has. It has British actor Grant. It features an all-British cast, mostly, because it features Grant Bardsley as voicing the hero Taran, and it also has Susan Sheridan voicing Princess Alonwi. Also has British Freddie Jones voicing Dorwin, I think. And it has John Hurt voicing the Horned King, which was the villain. And I don't know who voices the minstrel in this one, but anyways, as you know, it's in some quiet country home. We know Taran is training does a little training, and he somehow is training with a geese named Henwin, and of course Dorwin is trying to teach him that, but then later Taran has to leave and get away from Dorwin, for instance, since something needs help. And then he arrives at some castle, and there he finds a magic sword, and he does some battling, and of course then later on he later meets Princess Alonwi, and then they start to be teaming up together. But then after that, later on, they then find some minstrel in need of trouble, but they rescue him, and then after that they start to go on, and somehow they exchange the sword, and later Taran later exchanges the sword to these three people, and they somehow get the cauldron and all this, and after that, of course they do something, but of course then they later are back in the castle, and they later get trapped and standing. Of course, along the way Taran meets a troublemaker named Gurgi, who will take an apple. Well, and I can't. Well, maybe Henwin's a pig, actually. But anyways, Gurgi, I don't know who voices Gurgi in this, but after all this training, after all this trouble, that of course later of course, they later get freed, but then of course they have this big battle with the Horn King, and the Horn King meets its demise. They later send the Cauldron back to those free people, free spirits, and then after that, they start to have a happy trip back home. And I don't know what else to say. I mean, I have seen this movie, but I watched this during the middle of August of 2010. I can't remember what other things happened, but I know this movie. This film was released in July of 1985, and when it was originally theatrically released, it turned out to be a box office failure, and because of that, Disney decided not to release this on video, and it wasn't released for a long time until 1998, when they had this VHS release. But anyways, still. And I know it's also one of the weaker Disney films, as according to what Imagination 1980 says. But anyways, still the Black Cauldron is an okay Disney film. It'll still be one of Nick's favorite Disney movies. It's also a favorite for the Luigi fan as well. And so I actually do recommend getting this, but only if you really dare to see it. But anyways, there you go. That's the Black Cauldron. Okay, that wraps it up for episode 21 of Martin Talkz, and it also concludes my most likely my final video of 2010. I hope you enjoyed all the videos I made during this year of 2010 as we get ready to say goodbye to that and head into 2011. So until January 2011. Goodbye for now, and I'll see you next time.